The WNBA season has been nothing short of a roller coaster, filled with electric moments, rising tensions, and raw emotion. But nothing has quite rattled the league like the latest controversy involving Caitlin Clark. Now, Jacy Sheldon has entered the spotlight, voicing what many fans and even players have been feeling but hesitating to say. The Ohio State standout, who's now finding her rhythm in the WNBA, didn't hold back when addressing what she believes is unfair treatment toward Caitlin Clark. And it's not just about one call or one game. This is about the growing divide between the league's veterans and its rising stars. And Sheldon has had enough. It all started during a fever game that many fans anticipated to be just another chapter in Caitlin Clark's rookie journey. But what unfolded left viewers shocked and divided. Clark, who has been the focal point of media attention, fan admiration, and on-court hostility, was at the center of a physical exchange that led to a controversial punishment. A flagrant foul was called on Clark, and to many, especially Indiana Fever supporters, it felt like another. In a series of questionable decisions aimed at slowing down her momentum, the incident happened quickly, but its impact was long. Clark appeared to be defending herself, trying to keep her balance and composure in a fast-paced transition play. But the referees saw it differently. They assessed a flagrant, and while Clark didn't retaliate or argue, the decision was met. With immediate backlash on social media, fans cried foul. Pundits debated the consistency of officiating, but it was Jacy Sheldon's reaction that truly turned heads. Sheldon, who played against Clark in college and respects her game deeply, took to the post-game interviews and didn't mince words. In her calm but firm tone, she questioned the double standard that seems to exist in the league. "If this were any other player, I don't think that call happens," she said. "We need to stop pretending like there's not a spotlight on Caitlin. That changes how things are called. Whether people love her or hate her, it's changing the way the game is being played." Her comments echoed sentiments that have been quietly simmering within WNBA locker rooms and on social media. Sheldon didn't accuse the league outright, but her statement left no room for doubt. She believes that Clark is being treated differently, and not in a good way. And Sheldon isn't alone in this belief. Several former college stars, now transitioning to the pros, have noted the strange energy surrounding Clark's presence in the league. There's admiration, sure, but there's also an undeniable tension. Some call it jealousy, others competitiveness, but it's affecting how games are officiated and how players are responding. Clark, for her part, has tried to stay professional. Through it all, she hasn't lashed out publicly. She hasn't blamed anyone. But you can see the weight on her shoulders, every bump she takes, every foul that doesn't get called, and every stare down from opposing players adds up. Clark's ability to draw massive viewership numbers and headline sports shows daily has made her the face of the league far earlier than most rookies ever experience. But it's a double-edged sword. With the attention comes scrutiny, and with scrutiny comes pressure. And now, Sheldon is calling it out. The real issue, Sheldon suggests, isn't just one bad call, that's the culture that's forming around it. "We talk about protecting players, about wanting to grow the league," she said in a follow-up interview. "But how can we grow if we're punishing the very players bringing attention to the game?" This isn't just about Caitlin, about the message we're sending, and that message is becoming increasingly confusing. On one hand, the WNBA is celebrating record-breaking attendance and TV ratings, thanks in large part to Clark's presence. On the other, it feels like some within the league want her to be quiet, humble, and invisible on the court, a near-impossible request for a player who's been breaking records and changing the game since college. Jacy Sheldon's explosion, as many are calling it, wasn't loud or vulgar. It wasn't emotional in the traditional sense. It was sharp, intelligent, and piercing. She asked the hard questions the league doesn't seem ready to answer. Why is Clark being officiated differently? Why are veteran players allowed to be overly physical with her without consequences? Why is the narrative that Clark needs to toughen up when others are clearly targeting her? The response from the league has so far been muted. No public statement was made, clarifying the foul or acknowledging the uproar. But fans noticed. Analysts noticed. Even rival players noticed. And now, with Sheldon stepping up, the conversation has been reignited in full force. She's not just speaking as Clark's peers. She's speaking as a professional athlete who wants the game to be fair, consistent, and safe for everyone. Some critics argue that Clark should just accept the rookie treatment, that every new player goes through a welcome to the league phase. But what separates this situation is the extreme disparity between the treatment Clark is receiving and how other rookies are handled. Clark isn't just being tested, she's being targeted. And that's not an exaggeration. It's visible in game footage, it's evident in post-game interviews, and now it's being confirmed by players like Sheldon who've had enough. The aftermath of Sheldon's remarks sparked an intense debate online. Some applauded her courage, while others accused her of stirring the pot. But if anything, Sheldon's comments brought transparency to what many fans have felt but couldn't articulate, that something's not right. That maybe the WNBA, in its rush to evolve and capitalize on rising stars, is also failing to protect them. And that needs to be addressed not months from now, not during the offseason, but right now. It's also important to consider what Sheldon's stance means for the future. This wasn't just a defense of Clark, it was a broader call for fairness and accountability. It's a message to officials, coaches, and executives alike. Let's not destroy the momentum. This league has worked so hard to build by allowing bias and inconsistency to define our games. Let's not alienate the very players that fans are paying to watch. Interestingly, Sheldon's comments seemed to have ripple effects beyond just interviews. Several other players liked and shared her quotes on social media. Some even posted their own subtle responses, memes, emojis, and indirect messages that seemed to support the idea that Clark is being unfairly treated. That quiet support is growing louder, and the league will have to address it one way or another. As for Caitlin Clark, she continues to do what she's always done: play through the noise. In the next game, after the controversial foul, she dropped another 20-point performance, reminding everyone why she's the most talked about rookie in years. She doesn't need to respond with words, her game speaks volumes. But now, with Jacy Sheldon standing by her side, Clark's voice has just become a lot stronger, in a league trying to find its identity amid a surge in popularity. Moments like these define its trajectory. Will the WNBA choose to embrace transparency and fairness, or will it continue to let vague rulings and inconsistent calls dictate the narrative? That remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, Jacy Sheldon has made her stance clear. She's not afraid to speak the truth, even if it means ruffling feathers. And for that, she's earned the respect of fans and players alike. If the WNBA wants to grow, it needs more voices like Sheldon's, honest, passionate, and unafraid to challenge the system, because only then can the game truly evolve.